We really felt called to be a church for people who were giving up on church, people who are looking for life all over the place. You know, you go on Instagram, people are traveling, people are trying to build their own brand, kind of make a name for themselves. I think about how statistics show us that people are kind of leaving the church, giving up on the church in a lot of ways. I think it's because we're trying to find life. And the church used to be the place where people found that life in Jesus. We want to try to be the church for people who've given up on church to find that life. That's really the vision God's given us. So, you know, like our vision statement, it says, our vision is to see people come alive in Christ as they are known, loved, and empowered. And for us, that means having an experience, an encounter with God through Jesus, but that also means being known and loved and empowered in community with other people, right? It's not just about how we sit and listen to a preacher or a band or a choir on a Sunday and then move on. It's about how every day, every moment of our lives is wrapped up in the story of God, and that's what we want to see continue to come here to the South Hills of Pittsburgh. And this model came to my mind of kind of a hybrid of what if we had, you know, worship and preaching and all those things that normally go on Sundays happening in a central location and then being live streamed to people's homes where they're hanging out with, you know, 10, 15, 20 of their friends watching, you know, maybe eating some pizza afterwards, watching the Steeler game, you know, and really making it a community event. And so basically what's happened is now that COVID happened, that model is like set up for us. So our short-term goal here is on September 20th, we're actually gonna start our first, what we're calling alive groups. Those are basically those gatherings where people will be watching worship in person in people's homes or in the community because we can't gather in a large setting. So we want to start our first groups and invite the community to join us for those.
And so we're just trying to be faithful and go one step, sometimes one day at a time with what we're doing. So long term, it's just to grow those groups and to grow our presence in this community so that more and more people get to know Jesus because we're here. Yeah. And that we don't know exactly what that's going to look like just because nobody knows what anything's looking like right now. But I think I will reveal that as we move forward.
We plan on engaging with this community in some very important ways. This area, as we're getting to know it, is changing a lot. I think it's in flux. There's a large immigration population that's coming in here. And just the demographics are changing. So there's some great organizations in this community that are already doing some amazing work. I think about the South Hills Interfaith Movement as an example, and there are definitely others. And we want to partner with them. You know, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. I'm very passionate about saying, God, where are you already working and how can your people join? So we want to invite people to come and serve. Because I think one of the problems that people have had with Christianity is that it just doesn't work sometimes. And people have seen hypocrisy, they've seen the church not standing for the oppressed and not standing up for justice. And so we want to be a church from the beginning, especially once hopefully restrictions kind of lighten a little bit over the next couple of years, that are going to serve and fight for people who need to be fought for. You know, we want to call the community to partner together in that. We as a church, especially in the 21st century, in this digital age, we want to utilize technology very intentionally to reach people. That's where people are. Right? Jesus says in what Christians call the Great Commission, he said to go into the world and make disciples, help people know him, follow him. And that means going where people are. For us, that means, streaming services on Sundays, doing our live groups where people are meeting in homes.
We continue to utilize those tools that it seems like the whole world is going to be shifting a little bit. There's so many people that haven't gone back to work because their companies have realized they don't need to be in an office. You know, why not the church too? Why do we have to have a building where everything happens inside those four walls? I don't see why we need to.
It used to be, you know, I just want to check out just the website maybe, or I step in the front door of the church for a week or two and then decide if I want to come. But now, like, you can watch the service online, you can check out the content and see if, all right, I think I vibe with this church. I want to utilize that. And so there's a barrier that we want to try to break down from the very beginning, is how can we bring people together around what unites us, the love that God has for us in Jesus Christ, rather than what divides us.
When God called us to do this, to start the Point Church, we knew it was going to be different, that we didn't want to just do what everyone else had been doing or has always been doing. We wanted to try it a little bit differently so that we could make it something that people were interested in, because Jesus is something everybody should be interested in.